moving on to our next story of the day. This is actually going to be two articles about Singapore, about what you can and can't do, and the fines they've given out and how much the fines have cost. So on the first day of the circuit breaker is a lawbreaker, over 7,000 tickets were issued to people who didn't comply with the safe distancing measures. So let's read more about this. More than 7,000 tickets, adversaries, were issued to members of the public on Tuesday, April 7th. The first day, the authorities restricted the movement of people here to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. These individuals had breached the elevated safe distancing measures, the Ministry of Environmental and Water Resource Management media stated. Most of the offenders took place in the hockey centers and the markets. The ministry said that the riders' adversaries issued, including those given to members of the public at crowded markets, to remind them to keep a safe distance when queuing up or making payments by following the markings on the floor. An advisory was also issued to the stall holders at the Cafe Center for selling drinks intended for dine-in. In a Facebook post, the message Zuckermeister said that as of Wednesday onward, the authorities will not hesitate to issue stern warnings that will lead to fines for people who still continue to gather in public. These include those who continue to gather in large groups at void decks, playgrounds, community parks, even if they are doing nothing but chit-chatting, he said. Oh, wow, so you can't even go to a park and chit-chat. How like that? The health of all depend on each and every citizen of us working together. I strongly urge everyone to take safe distancing seriously and to heed the advice and guidance of our enforcement officers. We should not need to deploy previous resources if we all cooperate. Okay, so let's look at what they said here. Okay, the MERW said that members of the public are strongly reminded to comply with the safe distancing measures on May 4th. Well, yeah, until May 4th. No compliance is an offense. The ministry heard the people be found to breach the measure, he or she will be issued a written advisory immediately. Wow, written the ticket. The enforcement officers would then take down his or her particulars and issue a stern warning. If the person does not comply, return to commit the same offense. The policy may be called for follow-up action. All right, follow-up action, you say. Here's what they say about that. Stay at home unless you're going to the doctor when unwell, going out to buy food and essential items, or exercising. Singaporeans should stay home and protect themselves, their friends, and their families. If you go out, ensure it's safe distancing. The temporary measure bill was the latest passed in the Parliament on Tuesday. The first-time offenders will face a maximum of $10,000 jail or up to 6 months. $10,000 or 6 months. Wow, the second offense will be $20,000 or 12 months in jail. That is just insane. And now that you know about this, I want to get into the second article that goes along with this. Okay, so hold on while I bring that one up. We're talking about Singapore and their circuit breaker new law that they passed. Now let's go over this law because that could potentially have a law that could pass anywhere in Europe or in America. And so let's do a small interview that a reporter had with them. Explainer, your questions on the new circuit breaker laws answered. Circuit breaker measures to combat the bug pandemic started on Tuesday, April 7th, along with the Parliament. The bill, which gives the government the legal basis to enforce self-distancing measures to limit the spread of the bug. The new regulations came into force on Wednesday and will last until May 4th. After the spread of the government will review these measures and may choose to extend or adjust them if needed. Today's highlights some of the do's and the don'ts of the new laws. Question: May I meet someone at a park for a walk or exercise? Not unless they are living with you. While you may exercise at any open-air stadium, public bath, or public park, you may only do so alone or with someone who lives with you. Activities that may attract like-minded participants are not allowed. These include fishing, flying kites, windsurfing, and skateboarding for leisure. I need to visit my elderly parents to look after them and drop off my child at a relative's house to be cared for while I work. Am I allowed to do so? Yes, you may visit your family members to help them with their daily needs, including caring for elderly parents for child care arrangements. You may also leave your home and help individuals with their daily needs, as long as they fall within these criteria. They have a physical or mental disability, or are below 12 years of age, or above 60. May a friend or relative help me move to another house? No. While moving services are allowed to continue, you may not physically meet your friend or relative for this reason. Are my children allowed to visit playgrounds or play in common spaces near my home, including void docks or grass patches in a condominium? You cannot use sports or recreational facilities in shared areas inside a subdivided building, even if you live there. Any sports facilities in public spaces are off limits as well. You are also not allowed to use common areas such as void decks for shared facilities in housing development boards, estates, as well as condominiums, even if you live there. Can my part-time cleaner or private tutor still come by my home? All private tutors must suspend lessons, and tuition centers must stop all physical group sessions. There may, however, continue to conduct their lessons online. Likewise, all home cleaning services are suspended. May I still get a haircut? Yes. Basically, haircut services such as cutting, washing, and blowing of hair are permitted, but must be kept to 1 hour or less. You cannot, however, color, perm your hair, or treat it with chemicals. Similarly, all nail salons and massage parlors will be closed. Will I be able to order items online and have them delivered to my house? Delivery services are still running, and delivery employees are allowed to assist with setting up furniture, i.e. IT, technical products in your home. Wow. But they must maintain a safe distance of 1 meter from all occupants of the house, minimizing contact and interaction, and leaving immediately after completing their work. Companies must also ensure that the number of staff involved in daily delivery and installation is kept to a minimum. Can a friend or loved one move into my house? Yes, but only if that person stays with you for the next 6 months and not anymore. And not move somewhere else in the time frame. Wow, so no weekend passes. May I visit my boyfriend or girlfriend, fiance or my sibling who lives nearby? No. Any social contact is strictly limited to those living within your household. May I eat myself on a void deck in the public areas? No, you cannot loiter or eat in public area, even if you are by yourself. What are the penalties for non-compliance? Anyone who the relations are subject to harsh penalties under the Infectious Disease Act. First-time offenders will be fined $10,000 and jailed up to 6 months. Repeat offenders may be fined up to $20,000 and 12 months in jail. So this is my question for you guys. What do you feel about after hearing what you can and can't do after this article? Did you think of any of these were basic activities or rights? How would you cope if you could not do any of these things? If these laws were applied to you? I think I personally would go crazy if I can't see my child. Like, usually mother and fathers in America, they live apart. I can't go across town to see it. I can't see my girlfriend on the weekend if I worked all week delivering these trucks, like they said. This would drive me crazy, and I would start a revolt. But that's just me. Tell me about yourself. Hi. The small clip you saw was brought to you by Loyal World News. If you like what you saw, you should subscribe and look up my daily Loyal World News report for its full version. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, prefer to be on the road, I also have a podcast in every full-length video I put up.